Hello, Emily. It's Friday, September 11th. It has been 14 years since September 11th, 2001, but I really don't have anything deep or meaningful to say about that, so I'll just move on from there. So, in regard to our, formatting with the title and whatnot, I just wanted to say that apparently we've kind of decided that that is a good formula with what we've been doing and all our rules about what we have to include in the video and what we don't have to include and blah, 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 how long it should be, blah, blah. But apparently we've kind of decided that there are more guidelines than actual rules. And while we're on sort of obscure popular films, obscure popular, yeah, that could be kind of a weird way to say that. Of course, I mean obscure by not really well defined and kind of hard to know what they're about, not the definition of unwell known, which would be kind of contrary to the word popular. Anyway, while we're on obscure popular films, the other day I was sitting on my bed and all of a sudden, remember, this is going to take a minute to connect, but remember the song Alabama Gal? And you know how you guys used to sing it in the car on the way down to Sarasota? And that only you put in Indiana Jones for Alabama Gal? That just popped into my head. First of all, why? Where did that come from? I have no idea. It was a little bit disturbing how random it was. There was no trigger for that as far as I could tell externally. But also, where did that come from? I have totally forgotten why you substituted. It was probably Tommy, but why did you substitute in Indiana Jones? I mean, because it had the same number of syllables, partly, I assume, but why? So you're thinking about The Color Purple. I'm pretty sure that's a classic example of classical conditioning. So yes, you have been classically conditioned by me to like The Color Purple. Ah, yes. Kind of an interesting fact, it has been proposed that classical conditioning can explain all aspects of human psychology. And even more interestingly, the guy who proposed this name was John Watson. So there you go, interesting fact. In response to your art analysis thing, I have a couple of thoughts on this. One, I think you're absolutely right. They have to both be correct, both critics. Because I think it's ridiculous that you can look at something and you think something and then maybe you write it down. But your thoughts, when you look at something, are just whatever your thoughts are. And I think both of those two people are saying, your thoughts are wrong. Your brain is wrong. It just, it processes that wrong. When you look at something, you think what you think. How can you be wrong? I'm not... There's something very deep in philosophy things that I don't know. I'm not sure it can... It's like what popped into your brain was wrong. Sorry. Also, I'd like to say that I really liked listening to your interpretation while I was looking at the painting. I found that I got so much more out of it when you were reading it versus when I'm reading something and thinking about the painting in my head. When you're reading it out loud and I'm looking at the painting with my eyes whilst you are reading, I can really see what you're saying. First of all, I can see what you're saying because you wrote it well, and wow, holy cow, what kind of, wow, nice writing, okay, but also because you're putting it into my head, and I'm looking at the painting right there, and that was really kind of great, so yeah, I really enjoyed that, actually. It was a little bit deep, but it was good. So, in the last week, I have had more cause to reconsider our measurement system than at most other times. For example, when you're looking at an animal, and say you don't have a scale, because you don't have a scale that could take a horse in every barn or whatever. You can't just we need the weight on that cow before we can give it medication. No, it's in a herd. You guess. You do your best, and you learn how to guess really well. However, we all learn how to guess the weight of animals in pounds, and then you have to convert it to kilograms. So, all the medications and all the, we're learning about fluids specifically, but you have to do it by kilogram. You do this much kilogram, or per kilogram of body weight. So, I find that learning to estimate in pounds and then converting to kilogram is a double whammy right there, because unless you have a calculator, which you might, more commonly in small practice probably, but unless you have a calculator, you're guessing about the pounds, and then you're guessing how many kilograms that is when you convert from pounds to kilograms. So you've got two sources of error there. So why do we learn how to guess in pounds? I mean, I know we know how to do that because that's what we're used to, but you're like, oh, that foal is 300 pounds, I guess. And that's about, see, I'm gonna guess how much is 300 pounds in kilograms. I'm gonna totally take a wild guess here. I'm guessing 140 kilograms. I'm guessing I'm going to get out a calculator and check myself now. 136. I was so close. So 300 pounds is 136 point something kilograms. That was actually not bad. Not bad. Close enough. But anyway, what's up with that? Two sources of error potentially, unless I just carry this around with me. Or phone, I guess people do that too. But anyway, just thinking about that. So today I thought I'd bring to you two little bits of advice things, which are on totally different ends of a spectrum. I'm not sure what spectrum that would be, but they're definitely on opposite ends of whatever spectrum they're on. I'd first like to say I would not recommend Rice Krispies in the morning before you go to school because they only last about an hour. If you're going to go with cereal, granola is a much better choice. My second bit of advice comes from C. Northcote Parkinson, which I thought would make you happy. Delay is the deadliest form of denial. And I'm going to interpret that to mean, in this case, that as school progresses on and we're in week 3, or we just finished week 3, actually, don't underestimate this. Week 3, we just finished week 3. And it's going to get harder and harder to, stay on top of things and all that kind of stuff. So delaying, which I'm going to translate to procrastination. Delay is the deadliest form of denial. Sounds much better, but procrastination is the deadliest form of denial. I'm not sure what we're denying. The fact that school exists, I think, is probably likely. But I'd like to put the emphasis on the word deadly. So procrastination is deadly. I'm just going to summarize it down to that. I'm not sure. I really doubt that's what C. Northcote Parkinson meant by that, but I thought that would be a nice touch for you, and you might appreciate it anyway. Yeah, so that was a real hodgepodge of stuff going on in this video. Oh well. See you soon. Hope the orange groves are treating you well.